With a mountain of evidence against him, James Cosby was under intense interrogation for the heinous murder of his daughter Brittney Cosby and her girlfriend Crystal Jackson.
I'm going to start a sentence. I want you to finish it.
What is it?
I did not do this because...
I'm not finishing that.
Because you can't.
Because you did it. Did you see her squirm around? Bleed like a pig? Did you enjoy killing your daughter?
Was she crying out to you when you were beating her to death?
More than 5 hours in, James Cosby's opportunity to come clean was closing in.
We fixed to walk out this door in a few minutes, and that's it. No more chances. It's over. The wrath of God is fixed to fall upon you. We're going to give you 15 minutes to think about what you want to do. And all deals are off after that. All deals.
Would James Cosby confess and show remorse?
Or what are you going to tell us?
Nothing.
Okay. Fine. We done?
We're done.
Stand up. Hands on your back.
A confession was off the table, but an arrest wasn't. Cops charged James with 2 counts of tampering with evidence, all they could hold him on at the time. Long hours spent with James left an indelible impression.
I've interviewed serial killers and child killers, and when I sat across from Mr. Cosby that day in that 5.5-hour interview, I'll rank him as probably one of the most cold-blooded people I ever looked eye to eye with.
James Cosby wouldn't crack, but soon a confession would be irrelevant. Just 1 month later, Crystal and Brittney's SUV was found. Detectives believe James Cosby used the vehicle to transport the women's bodies from the murder scene at their Houston home to the dump site in Port Bolivar. Inside, more damaging evidence, a bullet, and a lot of blood.
What about blood evidence inside their car?
It showed you that Crystal's body was on the left side of the cargo area, and Brittney's body was on the right side of the cargo area. We believe there was a mat back there, but it had been destroyed or thrown away, probably with the murder weapon.
1 year later, James Cosby was charged with capital murder. Grief-stricken family members were horrified. Even as they united to find the killer, he was right under their nose.
He called me on my cell and asked me, could we donate money towards Brittney's funeral? We still didn't know that he was the perpetrator.
Investigators knew how and where Brittney and Crystal were killed, but the why, the motive.
Why do you think he did it?
We think it's jealousy. He just gotten out of prison in October. He's living on Grandma's sofa. He come home, his daughter, she was running everything, had a great job. Proud of having her first vehicle. You know, she's eating at fancy restaurants, he's eating bologna sandwiches. I think it got to be a struggle over power at the house.
I cannot fathom how a father can do that to a child.
And unfortunately, Crystal was just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
I think Crystal was collateral damage.
Ebony McDade, James's sister, said things were tense 2 days before the murders.
Brittney called me to tell me about an argument that her and her father had. And my advice to her was just stay out of his way. That was the last conversation I had.
Unfortunately, that advice was not heeded. James Cosby went on trial, and after 3 hours of deliberations, the jury found him guilty of capital murder.
When you heard the verdict?
I cried because I wanted him to get death penalty.
James Cosby was sentenced to life without parole.
I never saw James as a violent person. The person who they have now doing life in prison, I don't know that person.
The youngest victim in this tragedy is Crystal's daughter, Zanaya, who was there the morning her mother and Brittney were murdered. She likely heard the shot that killed her mother.
Do you remember that day, Zanaya?
Yeah.
Tell me what you remember.
My mom went inside the house to go get for Brittney. I was about to get out the car. Guess who came running in?
Who?
James Cosby. Coming to the car, getting the keys out.
And what happened after that?
And then after that, I just went out the car with him. I went, do you know where my mom is? She said, maybe in one of those rooms. And I asked him, may I check in your room? And then he was like, no, like in this mean voice.
Did you hear anything, Zanaya?
Yeah.
What did you hear?
Like, something like that. And then I just heard, pew, something like that.
How much do you miss your mommy?
Maybe the last number of all of the numbers, that's the highest number.
That's how much you miss your mommy.
The tragedy has left both families picking up the pieces. Hopefully, one day, they will get some answers.
I want to ask James Larry Cosby, why? What was the purpose of killing our child? My only girl and your only daughter. I just want to know the answer. I do.
Galveston sheriffs are simply relieved he will never walk free again.
To Mr. James Larry Cosby. Detective Kitchens, you say what?
We got you.
James Cosby is appealing the case. We reached out to him for a jailhouse interview to try and confirm what really motivated this unthinkable crime. Unfortunately, he declined our request.